and you
I'm
can't.
not touching their stuff.
And
I have no idea.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, then we're off and running with our experts.
During
I've
the
been having a wood
C-word
shortage.
process, well, that can happen as you get older in life. Come on, man. This is a joke.
Well, you put cologne on your butt?
Well,
So in order to play, you have to wear jorts.
I don't have George. I could probably wear a Speedo now.
Want to do that? No, you probably could.
He'll be over here tomorrow digging out a big-ass bush.
Sonny and share, like and share, whatever.
Yeah.
Just something and share.
Yes, hello. It's another edition, Larger Than Live, Gambling Fin Variety, Season 2, Episode 14. There's that number again. Yes. Yes, so there it is.
Sorry, I was
14. You know who wore 14, don't you, years ago for the Redlegs?
Ken Anderson.
That's for the Bengals.
I'm
That's
kidding.
the team. That's the neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
That would be Peter Edward Rose, just in case you had forgotten. It is Larger Than Live on this gorgeous Monday where we've gotten some rain, which is, I guess, we need.
Yeah.
I got a chance to do some yard work yesterday, so it's watering it all in. It's probably maybe
Look at you. The water, the glass is half
yeah.
full of rain.
No,
Nice.
this weather sucks. I was watching some of the games, St. Louis at San Diego last night, and I always ask this every time I see a San Diego game, just a one-bedroom. Just one bed. It's always blue skies. It's always awesome looking. Yes?
Well, that's what I want to do. I told you that. My retirement plan, I changed from living in a tree in South Carolina.
It's RV now, right?
Then it was going to be RV, and now I want to be a weatherman in San Diego.
Right.
That's all I want to do.
Sure.
72 and sunny. Back to you guys.
Yeah, right. It's awesome. And we got lots of things to get to, including, I will say this, Friday, Saturday, and yesterday, the weekend was delightful. And I will say, it felt so nice to be down. I was down at Great American Ballpark. I'll tell you a little bit more about that as kind of the capstone of our Skyline Chili Reds High School Showcase with the big league weekend at GABP. But just getting out, walking around the banks, and seeing people out in good numbers just felt great.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did. People are now out. They're ready to be out. And speaking of ready to be out, we've got the perfect little midweek. You having a little tired. Because don't forget, whether you like it or not, you lazy asses, you're going to have to get back to the office soon. That's in the works. All these people complaining. We'll get to some of that. But Wednesday, why not, right? The Moorline Lager House, 5 to 7, right before the Reds Giants on Wednesday night. Come out and join us. It's our Larger Than Live at the Lager House.
Yep.
We'll be there out on the event lawn. Gorgeous space, and looks like the weather will be cooperative. Got the outside concessions for their awesome beer selection. Full menu. We'll have some cornhole opportunity to win. Oh, yeah, we like the menu and the beer selection. We'll have some trivia. We'll talk about a lot of stuff. And we'll also play some tunes. You got the playlists all put together. So it's a fun time if you're looking for a way to head out before you go to the game. So stop for you. Or if you're just looking to stop somewhere before you go home, if you're working downtown, that'll work too.
And keep in mind that Dora Cup extends down to there.
It does.
So if you're up on Nuxall Way and you want to walk down, the Dora Cup extends down to there. And you can buy one or you can get your beer and walk it up if you want to do that as well.
Indeed.
So
Correct.
now I think you have the full schedule. Monday, 7 o'clock, like this program, Larger Than Live. Wednesdays, 5 to 7, Larger Than Live at the Lager House. That's always fun, and that's a great opportunity for us to be a little more interactive.
Yeah.
We're going to bring you and involve you into the show as much as we can, and then Thursday nights, I think we're on this week, right, Fred?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, on 700 WLW, 9 to midnight. I'll tell you, the brand extension is just phenomenal. So if you were able to keep track of any of that, put all that in the comments so we can keep track of it.
It's simple. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, all different spots. But we're there for you. Right?
And if you don't find us in one of those spots, you may find us at Fueled Collective. We may be there having a meeting there. They've changed up their mask policy now in accordance with everything that's going on in the state of Ohio. So again, Fueled Collective, office space. You mentioned people going back to work. If you don't need an office all the time, perfect place to go to have all the benefits of having an office without all of the commercial real estate concerns of having an office. And they, too, have a bar.
That's what I was going to say, and they have beer, which might be the best
full bar.
They have full bar. They absolutely do.
And up until 3 o'clock, it's part of the deal. Let's just say that. You can find out more about that on your own.
See them, and they'll tell you all about it. But I would tell you that was the coolest thing, is just to actually finally feel. For once, I felt like we're starting to get back to some sense of normalcy.
Well, and you know what's interesting too is people are dying to do that. There's
Correct.
still a little hesitation, and I think, and I'll carry a mask in my pocket because I'm one of those douchebags that still wears cargo pants at my advanced age. But I will always have a mask in my pocket in case I go someplace where somebody's going to have a fit. But I'm looking forward to not doing that. But what's so funny is I'm seeing on Facebook people going, well, I'm still scared to death. Well, if you're scared to death, don't go out.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying. At this
Right.
point, now the world becomes back in control of those who want to be free to do things without the fear.
Right.
If you are going to be ruled and controlled by fear, you don't have to go out. In
Right.
fact, it'd be better if you didn't,
yeah.
because I don't want you who drives fearfully or who parks fearfully or does any of that stuff, I don't want you in my way. So if you're afraid, don't go.
I keep trying to get my wife to take her mask off, but she won't. I mean, it's like, I'm like, here, we're outside, you're by yourself, you really don't need to wear a mask. I'm being very, very facetious. But I you know, again, and I'm with you. I mean, and it was funny because over the weekend, we were helping the Reds operate this big league weekend. We had 5 high school baseball games, 2 Friday night, 3 Saturday. Now, you have to realize they still have in full action the Major League Baseball COVID protocol. And I mean, it's extensive. I mean, they have tier 1, tier 2, and it's kind of funny, and I didn't mean to make fun of it, but I don't know, maybe I kind of did. Like, the object here, and I understand this, and I know there are 5 members of the Padres who have COVID and they're in protocol. They're trying to keep the players, right, from getting it. Well, the Reds are in Colorado while we were there. Like, you know, like walking down a hallway, wear a mask. Like, I mean, it's not going to linger there until they get back days later. I mean, there's some
Well,
of it.
is that right, doctor?
It is.
Is that right?
Yes, it is. But here's what I would tell you too. At some point, folks, and I get it. Look, millions of people have been impacted by this. Lots of people have passed away. I get it. I completely understand. I'm not trying to downplay the severity, but I'm fully vaccinated. Almost everybody that I've run into, because I deal a lot with the educational, they're the you know, teachers, coaches, administrators. If you're fully vaccinated, and so you have 2 ways to look at it. I'm fully vaccinated. I don't need to wear a mask. Or if my vaccination isn't working, then I should wear a mask, right? So I either have to choose A or B.
Well, I think it's funny because last week the change in the CDC protocol came out, and they mentioned it on SNL actually during the news.
I saw
said,
that.
he said, so you don't have to wear a mask. Feel free to go do anything you like, anytime you want to, unless you want to do these things. And they put up airports, restaurant, everything. It's like you can't really do anything.
Well,
the messages continue to conflict. Everybody's interpreting it to their own benefit. And some places, like locally, Kroger's going to keep the mask protocol in place.
I saw that.
That's going to end up in some fist fights in the produce section. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Well, and the one thing is, I love people, though, too, with the news media now. They're going to actually, I don't know, have to maybe go out and find a news story besides giving you these ridiculous COVID updates. But think about this. I wore this in honor of Mike and George, by the way. Blitz 5, it's more sports brand. But nonetheless, what I don't understand is CDC comes out, you hear what they say, and then you should be smart enough, adult enough to make your own interpretation from the message that they're giving you, right?
Well, yeah. I saw the thing that says the CDC says we can now go out without masks. And I'm like, we could anyway.
Right.
I don't
Correct.
care what the CDC is and tell me how
Correct.
I'm going to live my life. They can certainly make recommendations and suggestions.
You
but
are correct.
I've always been able to go out without a mask. It's like I always go back to this guy. There's a comedian named Fred Stoller. And I don't know if you know that. You know this guy. You probably don't know his name. But he talked about how he didn't want to go to college. Okay. And his mom, he said, my mom was all over me about going to college. And he's like, why? She goes, so you can say you're a college graduate. He goes, I can say that now. like I'm not going to be able to. Like I'm going to say, I'm a college gaga. He goes, I can. That's what I mean. You could do these things.
No, you're correct.
If you wear the mask, you wore it, or at least I wore it out of concern for you. If you didn't wear one, that immediately told me what you thought of me. It's okay. If you don't wear a mask and you get it and you're gone, that's your choice. It's on you. That's fine. And it goes back to, and we'll talk about this here, this Vax-A-Million program. We'll get to that here in a moment, but after we wrap up. But it's just, I don't need the government protecting me from me. I just don't. Helmet laws, for instance, with my motorcycle. Why have a helmet law? I wear a helmet because the only thing I got going for me is from about here up. Okay,
Yeah.
so I got to protect my coconut.
But that's a choice you make because it's in your
Right.
opinion, it's the right choice to make.
And you know
Correct.
how you get people to wear a helmet, Fred?
Yeah.
You tell the insurance companies that when you sign on for your motorcycle insurance, if you have a wreck and you have a head injury and you didn't wear a helmet, we're not going to cover it.
Yeah.
That's how you get people to decide what their real freedom is going to be. If they don't want to do it, they don't have to. I don't need the government protecting me from me.
Well, let me tell you what else you don't need. You may not know this. You really don't need insurance. Because
Oh, God,
insurance covers everything except what you need.
What you need, right?
Insurance is an absolute joke. And anybody who works for an insurance company should be embarrassed that you profess to provide insurance coverage for people.
Well,
but the news media now, have you seen the latest story now?
No.
Oh, the latest from the CDC, and we know it's confusing, so we're getting to the bottom of it. We're asking, it's not confusing.
No.
It's just, how about this concept? You're an adult. Allegedly, you have an IQ. Maybe it's double figures. And if it is, make a decision on your own. If you're outside, you shouldn't wear a mask anyway when you're outside. If you're in a tight place, and guess what? There's a sign that says facial covering is required, then I would suggest, if you want to be there, put it on. If you don't, exit.
And
this isn't difficult.
You know as well as I do, a lot of these places have that sign up just because they forgot to take it down, or they have it on, and then you walk in, you look around, it's like people are sitting on
Right.
their masks, they have them
Correct.
stuffed up their
Right.
ass, they don't,
Right.
whatever. That's the continued dog and pony show part of this, and I can't wait because the next phase of all of this, and June 2nd again, keep in mind June 2nd
Yep.
is after Memorial Day.
Correct. Oh,
The
yeah.
weekend.
You
So
think it's
keep
coming
that
back?
in mind.
You think
Keep that in mind.
You think they'll try to swoop back in with oh boy.
If you don't think the church lady is looking at that going, here's what I'm going to be the good guy for a few weeks, and then right after that, he's going to go, I told you, meh, 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 and they're going to try it again. The restaurants are going to go, you know what? No,
Hey,
we're going to do whatever we want.
You bring up something. Speaking of June 2nd, that's when the Reds can come back at full capacity,
Yeah,
by the way.
that's
So
right.
that's a Wednesday.
That's a home
So
game.
we're at the Moorline Lager House before this week. And you know who's pitching for the Giants Wednesday night? Anthony DeSclafani is the scheduled
nice.
starter. Cueto tonight, DeSclafani Wednesday. But on that June 2nd, come after the game to the Moorline Lager House. And I bet you a lot of people, who they playing that day? It's the
Phillies, I think.
Phillies, you're correct. It's
Yeah.
the Nationals on the road next
Memorize
week.
their entire
And then
schedule.
The Phillies, boy, I tell you what, I didn't realize you're such a Phils fan. But make plans. It's a 12:35. We'll be there at 5. What a great way to come over and say the Reds beat the Phils, and how awesome was it to have. And it is, I will tell you, seeing fans now and getting people excited, it is really cool. And let me, before I forget, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you this. And I know you'll go with me on this, and I'm guaranteeing when you were at Bogarts for the last 5 years,
Right.
I guarantee you there were plenty times during the course of the 5 years where you probably went into work or were midway through the day said, oh, man, I'm about done with this. It's about time. But then there's always something up until that 5th year to where you know what I mean? It kind of re-energizes you.
Yep.
I mean, didn't it? I mean, anybody who's in the kind of the events, any kind of that entertainment, I guarantee you go through that. So, I mean, I've been going through that just because I've been doing this for a long, long time. So we're down there. It's the 5 o'clock game on Saturday, the last one, which started at 6:20, because the game before it went very long. So I'm like, oh, man, this is just – and it was between Covenant Catholic, which came in 26-0-1, and Moeller.
Wow.
So interstate, and it went 9 innings, and Moeller won it with a walk-off. It was Covcast's first loss. Covcast had their student section. It was that game where at the end of that, seeing those kids, they did kind of like that, all charging out to jump up and down on the dude who got the game-winning hit, the wall. That's where I said to myself, okay, now, you know what I mean? You need that like reinvigoration.
Well,
I got it.
It's funny that you say that, and I would say that 9 times out of 10, no matter if you're watching and you've had that experience, and no matter what you do, because mine is similar, in the sense that you are rejuvenated and you are re-energized by the energy that comes from the youth of it.
Yep.
And mine was, as soon as I was starting to get burned out at Bogarts, almost like clockwork, somebody would come in with a little kid and go, this is their first concert.
Oh, yeah.
And I would go get them like a hat or a beanie or a
Yeah, you're
T-shirt.
right.
They would bring
Absolutely.
signs. This is my first concert. We'd take pictures in front of I would take all the pictures for them in front of the sign of what show it was and all that. And those kids had a blast, and we took care of, and that made me go, okay,
right.
great. It's the re-energizing of the
Yep.
youth.
2 things happened during that game, too. Prior to Tony Bacigalupo, who's the athletic director of Covenant Catholic, brought his little son down. You should have seen that dude.
Yeah.
He was there. He was playing in the brick dust and all that. That kid was having a ball. But how about this? One of the assistant coaches had one of the players take a photo of him. His face, so his back was to the field, and he said, "Hey, only took me 58 years to get to the big leagues." And he told to the kid he was going to send that to so-and-so. It's that, you're right. It's that kind of stuff that makes you go,
well,
it's kind of funny. I heard a couple people kind of go, man, this is unbelievable that I'm here. And I thought, we take some of that
jaded
for granted. You do, because you're, again, Don Schumacher used to say, we're the ones that set the stage. You know what? When it's going on, we're not, that's what people don't get. Oh, man, you were at the game, you were at the concert. Look, dude, it's not like we were, sitting in the third row drinking a few.
Yeah.
I mean, we're working it.
Well, and the other thing that is perspective for us as well, and I remember really getting a grip on this when I went to Atlanta, and I worked at 96 Rock KLS down there, we became the
Braves,
flagship station for the Braves. And it just really occurred to me that we were, from the radio station with concerts to this, to the team, the conduit for people that don't get to ever do any of the things we've been very lucky to be able to do on the reg, to get them access to do that. We were the conduit for them to go do something that they wouldn't be able to do if they didn't know us and didn't support us. And that's the coolest thing. I can talk about now watching concerts through Minnie Finn's eyes, and that's the only reason I want to go to a show anymore, is to watch her continue to discover it. That's what makes it interesting for me. And if you do something and and that's where, like, let's say you're a carpenter, or you're a plumber, or any kind of trade. You and I both are of the same mind.
I was just saying, please teach me how to do what you do.
I don't want to know, because I will make it worse. I am so happy to hire someone or take someone who's a friend of mine who knows how to do this and have them do it, because and that's the thing that you can do for somebody that they can't do for themselves. And it's those are the sorts of things, and that's the community. And I will tell you this, and next week we'll talk a little bit more about this. I've been watching a couple of shows that have really reiterated the idea for me of the importance of community and what community means, and supporting each other. Like, when you go back to the election, I saw a couple of people put, look, neither Trump nor Biden is going to come over and help you change a flat tire. No one in either party in any of that is going to come over and help you if you need help. But the people in your neighborhood are the people that will. And we can distill this back down to community in a future episode, because I want to hit on that. But you're exactly right. That rejuvenation comes from the youth, and the seeing it through different fresh eyes.
You need it every now and again. Hey, it's Gamble and Finn. It's Larger Than Live. It is season 2, episode 14. There's that number again. So now we're going to have some extras, too. We like to do some little cuts, and I've got one that is going to be why I hate entertainers and somebody I'd like to beat the ass of. We'll get to that.
Really?
Yes. I hate all entertainers, because they're all just a bunch of phony, just white-collar criminals, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But I have a simple segue into our next topic that I'd like to ask you.
Okay.
So there's a thing called tuition reciprocity, right?
Okay.
So if I live in Kentucky, but I want to attend a school in Cincinnati or whatever, a lot of times that reciprocity means I don't have to pay out-of-state tuition. So my question to you is, I've been vaccinated. Do I have a chance?
No.
What do you mean no?
Nope.
It's the same premise.
Nope. You get no reciprocity. As a matter of fact,
It's the
I'm
premise.
going to make sure of it. That being the Vaximillion program, the genius program that's come out of Columbus, Ohio, which is...
Well, you got lots of money. You might as well do something with it, right? Don't let it just sit
it's
there.
the use of the federal... And if you don't know this program, if you're from Ohio and you've been vaccinated, and I think you only even have to have the first one.
Right. And are you automatically entered?
You are automatically... If you paid taxes and they have a record of you with the IRS...
Which you should.
They will choose. There's going to be 5 people over 18 that will be chosen by first name. They're only going to reveal first names, and then they're going to go. Like, let's say they chose me. They would then reach out to me, say, "Is it okay if we contact your provider because of HIPAA laws and everything else?
Understand.
To make sure that you've been vaccinated." If that's the case, 5 people are going to win $1 million.
And who would, when you got that call, who would say no? Please don't contact.
I don't know. Maybe if you're in.
Come on. Please.
Certain loan businesses. And then if you're under 18, I think there's going to be 3 full ride tuition
I think that's correct.
scholarships to an Ohio university. And I thought, and DeWine's been taking a lot of shit over this because that's a terrible way to spend federal money. And his argument is, look, we got to be unconventional because now we've hit this wall of people that will not get vaccinated. And I just thought to myself, I thought, listen, and I don't give a rat's ass what if you're a Republican or you're a Democrat. And I know they're talking about there's a big Republican stonewall right now that I'm not getting that because first off, I don't want Biden getting any credit for me not getting sick.
That's
and
probably,
I don't
which is
want
probably true.
I don't want any microchips being put in me and all that nonsense. But here's my feeling. Okay, look, I went and got the vaccine because I could. I got the second dose because I could. Psychologically, it made me feel, as you were talking about in the first segment, more free to get out and go do and engage and enjoy my life and the people around me. If you're one of those people, I don't trust the government, you're not going to live forever anyway. If you say they're going to put something in me that's going to accelerate my death spiral, you could probably step off and get run over by an Amazon truck speeding around your neighborhood easily anywhere.
Right.
As easily as any of this. So what are you avoiding? Again, if they put a chip in to track me, good luck to that person. They're going to die of boredom tracking me around.
Well, it's conspiracy. It's a lot of conspiracy theorists. It's a lot of people who are on this side and won't go to that side. It is. And if you want to live your life the only things, I get irritated at a ton of stuff, but I'm not a contrarian. I get irritated at things that to me don't make any sense. But if you are providing me with an opportunity to do something that seemingly makes sense. Now, you could use the same argument. I've only had one flu shot, but I've never been adversely impacted years gone by the flu. So I didn't need to get one, at least that's the way I thought. But with this, where people I knew were really sick and some died, at least I thought, okay, if I get an opportunity to get that and I can live freely and not pass it to anybody else, I'm going to do it.
Well, and here's the other part. If you're one of the, and I'm a big conspiracy theorist. I think there is way too much convenience in certain things that happen. And if you look down the timeline, you can go, oh, what a coincidence that happened when that happened, or that happened when that happened.
And I don't dispute all of that. I think some of that is accurate.
Yeah, and I think, and if you think that, I hope there is a secret government somewhere, because I can't stand the one I can see. So I'm hoping there's one somewhere making things better. Probably not. But guess what? Doesn't matter. So if you're the person that says, I'm not going to get that because of pick a reason, you are the reason that they can still enact. You're worried about government control.
Right. Yeah.
If you don't do it, they will use those numbers against you. It's like the mask. If you don't wear the mask, they will say we can't open anything back up because people aren't wearing their masks. Play the game for a little bit of time. That's what we said we would do. In fact, I played a little longer than I thought I would.
Yeah.
But play the game, because otherwise you will be the reason you don't get to do the things you want to do because of the way you think. And it's fine.
And I still will tell you, and I saw this story this morning on, the different outlets that are still going to require you to wear the mask. You mentioned Kroger earlier. I'll still do that because, again, it's so few. And then when I go out, I'll take it off. And if they require, I either add two options. Right?
I will do that for a while.
Right. I'm
not going to do it I'm not going to live in fucking China. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to live in China and wear and Fauci can kiss my ass. Oh, it's going to be if you have allergies or you're afraid of the flu, you can wear a mask moving forward seasonally. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to live my life that way.
Nope.
But in the meantime, to wean off of it, I will do it just as a sign of respect for the person across from me. That's it. That's the whole reason that I will do it.
I can tell you.
Go ahead.
No, I can tell you three people actually that if they come on, I just click. I won't listen to Fauci. I won't listen to DeWine. I won't listen to Bashir. I just click.
Well, it's just become
it's the same bunch
it's become
of
nonsense. a lot of white noise.
Nonsense.
But I go back to the Vax-A-Million program, and the thing that irritated me the most about it is, in order to appeal to the people that don't seem to want to at least get on board enough to make a statement that we're all kind of in this together. And again, if you're completely anti-vax, if you're one of those people that's anti-vax, chickenpox and all that stuff, you need to be in a goddamn loony bin.
You do, but if that's your choice, I'm not going to. I mean, okay.
Yeah, I just don't want your kid around my kid if I have a new kid. But
hope you don't.
Which I damn well better not. But I guess my point is that this is how we had to approach it. We have to dumb this down to a lottery.
Well, let me ask you this, though.
The lottery is a tax on the poor.
But correct me if I'm wrong in this. Isn't it also essentially trying to use a sort of reward system to engage and get people to go get it? We're rewarding it's the wrong reward system.
It's not a reward because it's a 1 in 4.99 million chances.
Right,
They're using
I get
the
that.
same mentality that makes you step up there like an automaton every week and go, this is the week I'm going to win. 5 people are going to get this, Fred.
Right.
But this is the mentality they have to appeal to because so many people that don't have pardon my French, chance in hell of winning the lottery still play on a regular basis. So this is where we've had to dumb it down to get people to do something that in theory is supposed to be good for them. You have to do it this way. I guess I admire the thinking outside the box, but the strategy behind it is playing off how stupid we are, and we just keep getting dumbed further down.
Everything plays off that today.
Yeah.
But sadly, by the way, I haven't commented yet on your attire today.
Oh, this will be an extra.
Oh, it will.
I wore this for an extra because I can't wait to talk about this.
All right.
That.
All right. Yeah.
But so anyway, the Vax-A-Million program, I probably will be one of those 5 million.
I would
$1 million winners, and so I may or may not be here within a month. Who knows?
It'd be so awesome.
I'm
going
to buy out this show.
That'd be so great if you got that. I would love that. But I'm not.
You know what I do if I win the $1 million? You know what I'm going to buy? First thing I'm going to buy?
RV?
$1 million worth of lottery tickets.
Oh, there you go. Try to turn it into more.
Just keep rolling, baby.
Keep seeing what you can get next. Well, I'll tell you what. If you actually get one of these 5, you maybe should buy some lottery tickets. If you're one of these 5, maybe you should get in that line, my friend. You should.
I will be the guy that steps off the curb on my way to cash in my check and get run over by an Evans landscaping truck.
They used to tell me that when I used to work way back at the Post that I would be the only guy who would win the lottery and bitch about people coming out to try to get some money from me.
Bitching about the taxes?
No, more just people contacting me.
All your new friends?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Which I probably would.
All right, so let me ask you this then. And maybe we'll save this. You know, this will be an extra as well.
Okay.
We'll talk lottery winnings as another extra. What do you say? You want to do that?
That sounds good.
All right, we got a couple minutes to wrap this one
We
up.
do, and don't forget, speaking of wrapping up, make sure you make plans now for Wednesday. Weather's going to be nice. Finally, we're getting in the temperature where you can join us larger than live at the Lager House. That's right, the Moorline Lager House, 5 to 7.
I think this one
is
going to be 80 degrees.
I think it is. I think
so.
That's
this
correct.
is going to be the perfect place for me to unveil the song that will start the show. I think you're going to like it.
I thought you were going to come out with some kind of new clothing line or something.
It just sort of involves a clothing
line. As
line.
long as you're covered, that's all I care about.
You'll see. And you'll see if you join us again. Get there a little early, stake out your spot, grab some beers, and hang out. We'll have it is a lot of fun, and it's great. I mean, we had a guy last week that had lived in Cincinnati for 24 hours, and he just happened to show up. A couple that was in from Florida visiting his mom. They were just hanging out. And that's what's so fun is kind of see where all these different people come from. We had the young lady that runs, Montgomery Bridal?
Right. Yep.
Or whatever. And Amanda, was that her name? I don't know. But anyway, it's our chance to kind of get out and get face-to-face with you and get to know you, and you get to know us, or go, who are they, or whatever. But a chance to win.
I bet Paul with an O, not an A, he's from West Virginia, and Shelby, the quarantine cocktail show couple, I bet they may show up again as well.
Well, let's hope so. But the bottom line is the invitation is open for you, 5 to 7 every Wednesday, Moorline Lager House, the outdoor beer garden. If for some reason weather's not cooperating, we'll move it to the indoor beer garden. But we're looking forward to having you out there and get a chance to meet you. Then Thursday night, 9 to midnight, the reality check on 700 WLW is back. Of course, extras, this show, everything pushed to our YouTube channel. We do that's Gamble, capital N, Finn, as is all of our social media. Make sure to subscribe down here somewhere below my crotch. And then also, we do have the podcast. Again,
we do
on iTunes.
And podcast is just audio. You don't have to see us.
Yeah, it's the audio version of what we're talking about right now. But good stuff. I think get out, enjoy responsibly, but just enjoy yourself. Yeah. Let's exhale, but maybe into our elbow and relax a little bit.
And remember, if you're outside by yourself, please take your damn mask off.
And
please,
moreover than anything, if you're afraid of anything,
home.
Stay home. Don't go out. I don't need you there.
I don't probably need you there really anyway, even if you're not afraid, but nonetheless, stay home if you are.
All right, so we'll wrap up this edition. This is Larger Than Live, Season 2, Episode 14.
There's that number again.
And we'll wrap it up and knock these extras out, and we'll catch you Wednesday at the Moreline Lager House. He's Gamble, I'm Finn.
And we are out.